Small businesses are a huge part of New Zealand, but the one thing they apparently haven't been getting right is their online presence. A huge number of small or medium businesses either don't have a website or they've got a very poor one. They might as well not bother. But they don't have a website. How do they get advertising out there? How do people know where they are? To explain why and how they can do it much better, of course, is Gorilla Tech CEO Paul Spain. G'day, Paul.
Good morning, Duncan.
Nice to see you again. Okay, let's lecture these people why they're not doing it very right, why they're not doing it well at all.
Well, I mean, often we have businesses who get their work through word of mouth, and that's okay. And there's certain, other listing sites and locations that help them get business, or they've got a storefront on the street and people walk in that way. But they miss out if they don't have a website. And from what I'm seeing, we're probably around 25 to 30% of small businesses in New Zealand just don't have a presence at all.
And what's the cheapest you could get one made for? I mean, just the basic sort of presence online. That's what we were talking about.
Yeah, well, there are some businesses who just use an absolutely free one. I would suggest stepping up, from that to a level that's appropriate for your business. But you can get something for $20 a month if it's just a get started type situation.
And if you've got no presence, you're dead meat.
I would say maybe not quite dead meat, but you are giving a lot away to your competition. And, I came across somebody recently who was a tourism operator. He gets his business through word of mouth, but I was fascinated after hearing a bit about him, and I thought, I want to look this chap up and learn a little bit about his business.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Wow.
Silence online.
Let's say, we'll flip it over. What are the benefits of having a website for those who are listening at the moment and don't have one?
Well, certainly if your competition doesn't, it's a way in which you can be head and shoulders above them in terms of winning new business. And if you're in a field where there's lots of others with a website already, if you can make yours stand out, look better, make sure you've tuned it so that on Google you're coming up higher than your competition, that makes a massive difference.
How do you do that, though? How do you get up ahead of your competition?
Combination of things. The key is understanding what people might be searching for when they're looking for your type of business and making sure that your website caters to that. So on my personal website, for instance, I've got a public speaking page, paulspain.com/public speaking. And so
what's on there?
And that just gives a little bit of information about public speaking that I do, the topics that I speak on and so on.
And how much work do you get through your own personal page?
I get a chunk through that way.
Yes.
Yeah, works out well. Certainly, there's been no downside for me to put a little page online.
I mean, if these businesses are struggling to get ahead, this is where they've got to look for a start.
Well, it's quite simple to get a web page online. I've looked for a restaurant before and found, I want to find out a little bit more information about a restaurant, and they don't have their information online. And, of course, these days we're ordering through varying online channels, or we're wanting to, call up and place a pre-order before we, get there for takeaways.
We're posting the picture on Instagram before we eat it.
Well, you see, I've got dietary requirements, so if I can't see the menu before I go, I often don't go because it's not gluten-free or anything like that. And so if they don't have that...
You're cheap. That's good.
Yeah, we're just going to stay in and have toast. No, we go somewhere else. We go from one where I can see the menu and do it. What are some basic things that they should have for those who just want an easy, cheaper website? What do you recommend?
Well, always have empathy for who are the people that would be visiting your website. Make sure you cater to them. So, you're talking about having the menu if you're a restaurant. Make sure it's accessible from the devices people are using. A very high percentage of browsing now happens from mobile phones, but we still have a big chunk of websites in New Zealand that just don't work properly on a mobile.
So they're so outdated that you can't see them on a mobile phone?
Well, you can see something, but it's designed for a PC or a Mac screen, so you're having to zoom in and, a terrible experience. Those sorts of things, making sure it looks reasonably presentable. It's very easy to find the information you want, usually a phone number, contact details, make those accessible.
It's basic stuff, isn't it?
It's all about the basics and then getting found, so you get found ahead of your competition.
Oh, one question. How do you get found? Can you do something by paying more or something with the sort of algorithms to get ahead of
You can pay for advertising with Google AdWords, so that'll put you right at the top, but a lot of people know that those are paid and they do say ad next to them. But by getting the right content on your website, optimising your website, search engine optimisation they call it.
Get advice, basically.
Then you can step up above your competition. It makes a huge deal.
How do people get hold of you for some advice? Paul Spain at
gorillatechnology.com.
There we go. Do it for nothing, mate. Well done. Good to see you. Appreciate
Thanks,
your time on the
Michael.
program.